Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you had a good week and I hope you are having a better weekend. All right, so I'm not going to hold you for too long today, so we're going to get straight to today's show. The title of the show is Snatched, and the topic is the finished project. By now, we've all seen the social media video of the traveling makeup brush drop seemingly through space, person to person, for the beautiful makeover, or snatched, the urban terminology for looking good or on point. All right, so if you haven't seen it, raise your hand. I don't see any hands, so that means you've seen it. All right. If only making anything perfect was as magical as makeup brush dropping, that's my terminology, the entire world would be in a better place. Do you agree? And since it's not that simple, let me offer a few ideas of how to make at least one task in your life as close to perfect as possible. So you finished your manuscript, you've dotted every I and crossed each T, and now you are unsure about what comes next. Well, it's not a magical brush, but a clever and necessary process called, you ready for it? Editing. All right, so, and I can help you with that. There are three types of editing. Substantive, which is basically line editing, copy editing, and proofreading. So if you are in the writing world, if that's where you live, if that's where you exist, then you should be familiar with these three types of editing already without me having to point them out to you. But they are hyper critical, okay? So, and every good writer knows the importance of having better editing, all right? So, but if you are exceptional at everything, you won't require any of the above mentioned processes. Nevertheless, none of us are perfect, and you may need at least one, if not all of them. All of us will need at some time. All right. So the goal is to determine which one applies based on your level of expertise or needs. Okay. So you may be that good to where you don't necessarily need anyone to, to make your story better. You may just need someone to proofread it to make sure that, that you've done everything that you need to do before you release it into the hands of the publisher. All right, so the best way to explain this process is to define what each means, starting with line editing, okay? So according to https:/// that's a tongue twister, blog.reese.com / states that line editing is a part of the book editing process where the editor aims to improve the clarity of a piece of writing. A professional line editor examines the manuscript on a sentence level, leaving suggestions for word choice, syntax, and tone to enhance the author's writing style and the text's overall effectiveness. Okay, you can go there and it can help you get your book to be to the desired snatched category. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking better than good. That's looking like that's your best. That is the best that you could possibly be. You are at your best self with that snatched persona. Okay, but don't go anywhere because I have two more forms of editing coming your way. So just hang on for me, all right? Excuse me. So the next one I would like for you to check out is https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Wikipedia says copy editing, also known as manuscript editing, as if you didn't know that, is the process of revising written material, which will be referred to quote unquote copy, to improve readability and fitness, as well as ensuring the text is free of grammatical and factual errors. Okay? The Chicago Manual of Style states that manuscript editing encompasses simple mechanical corrections, mechanical editing, this is in parentheses, through sentence level interventions, also in parentheses, line or stylistic editing, to substantial remedial work on literary style and clarity, disorganized passages, baggy prose, muddled tables and figures, and the like substantive editing that I mentioned before. In the context of print publication, copy editing is done before typesetting and again before proofreading. Okay, just in case you were confused about that. And wow, that's a mouthful, but I hope you got all that. And I also need you to note that copy editing is not the same as proofreading, and that's the next and last step. And we'll get to that one in a moment. But let me just go back to the copy editing for a second. I know that was a lot to take in all at one time, but it's necessary. I've had several manuscripts. Well, all of my manuscripts have underwent this process, including the copy editing, because it's necessary. Sometimes when you are the writer and you're reading your work back for clarity, because you wrote it, you miss things. So it's best to have someone else, a fresh pair of eyes, maybe 1, 2, 3 sets of eyes, look over your work. And to look over it, make sure that you haven't missed any things, make sure that the synthesis makes sense, that is flowing properly, that you have done everything that you need to do to make this a work of art. Okay, so that's why it is so important to have at least one, if not all, of these processes, because it takes that. If you want your work to be held to the highest standard, and it should be held to the highest standard, no matter if you are self-publishing, and I'm talking directly to independent publishers right now, because if you are, if you're submitting your work to to the market of publishers or publishing companies, then these are things that they take care of. They do all of this on the front end, so you don't have to worry about it. All that is included with them taking on your project and publishing it for you. But if you are an independent publisher, that means that the responsibility of making sure that your work is free of errors and everything else that's on you. So you take pride in what you do, and if you take pride in what you do, then that means that it will be the best that it could possibly be before you release it into the atmosphere. All right. So let's get to this last one, and that let me give you the URL first, so you can go out here and check it yourself. All right. So and I'll try to go slow so you can write it down if you want to, or either you could just, if you're listening to today's show, it's there. You can just click on it, and it will take you straight to that URL. Well, not if you're listening to today's show, but if you go to my blog, you can see it. Okay. So anyway, that one is https://www.butte.edu/departments/cas/tip sheets/style_purpose_strategy/proofreading.html. Okay. Whew, that was a lot for me. All right. So anyway, it defines proofreading as the final stage of the writing process for mechanical correctness, such as grammar, punctuation, spelling, omitted words, repeated words, spacing, and format and typographical errors. Okay, so this is the last part of this journey. Okay, so first of all, we've had the line editing. Okay, so that is the editor. They are going line by line to make sure that everything is as tight as it can be. Okay, all right. So each part of your manuscript, they're going over it with a fine tooth comb. Okay, making sure that there is nothing left out of order. All right, so my ladies, y'all know that when you were kids growing up on Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, those special holidays when you were going to church and you had to have your hair done, and if you're as old as I am, you remember straightening combs, okay, or hot combs, depending on what part of the country you're from. Here in the South, we call them straightening combs. And of course, they would get to the back of your neck with that straightening comb, and then a regular comb held underneath that straightening comb so it wouldn't burn your neck to get at your kitchens. All right, so y'all know what that's about. If you grew up the way I did, you know what that's about. Okay, we had to make sure that every strand of hair was straight, and every little kink was straightened as well. So that's what the line editing is about. Okay, so now we want to get to the second one, which is the copy editing, and that, as I explained before, is revising of written materials. If you need to change something to make sure that the flow is tight, all right, that it is reading well, that nothing is out of order. You don't want to have one paragraph starts here and you think it's going to take you into the next paragraph, but then that comes somewhere further down the page. That should not be happening. Everything should flow in order. So that's why copy editing is important. Because I said before, when you are in the process of writing the manuscript, making changes and things of that nature, sometimes, we copy and move things around. And sometimes we move things out of order. And sometimes you can copy things twice. And if you don't go back and check behind yourself, then that's there as well. So that's why copy editing is so vital. Okay. And then, of course, the last one is the proofreading. We all need that. We all need someone to proofread our work for us to make sure that during the line editing and the copy editing, nothing was missed. This is the last part, the last crucial detail of editing, the editing process is the proofreading time. Okay, so if you skip the first two processes, then make sure you have someone to proofread your work for you. And sometimes it's helpful, and I've mentioned this before, if you have that function on your computer where you can have it read it to you, and that way you can listen, you can follow along as you read it, as you listen to it, to make sure that you haven't missed anything and that everything makes sense. Because believe me, you may think that is a waste of time, but it's not. It actually makes sense. And, you can save yourself a lot of future revisions if you just follow these three processes of editing. All right. So now that you have a better understanding of what each means and their necessity, I hope this will send you in the right direction on your journey and goals. And after completing these processes, your project results will be polished and worthy of the word snatched. All right. So that is our show for today. But before I let you go, I want to make sure I give you these URLs. Of course, the first one is to Spreaker, and that is at https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. You can follow me across all social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All right. And you can check out my website that is at authorvivianmore.com and authorehshepard.com. Also my blog site, which is at https://vivianmore.blogspot.com. You can also, if you missed today's live show, you can listen to the recorded episodes, of course, on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, SoundCloud, Giles Save, iTunes, Audible.com, Verbal Luminary, and Amazon, and anywhere podcasts are heard or supported. Okay, those are just a few to head you in the right direction. Okay, but you can listen to this podcast anywhere podcasts are available. All right. So tomorrow is Worship Day. It's the third Sunday. I'm excited about that. I hope you are too. Hope you're planning on going somewhere to worship, and inviting family, friends, neighbors to also come out and listen to those messages, because we all need that uplifting. We all need that. If not every day, at some point in our lives, we need to be uplifted. We need our spirits uplifted, because this world, you carry around the weight of the world sometimes on your shoulders, and this is a good way for you to get that off you, to make you feel better, to give you that infusion of hope that we all so desperately need. All right, so what else do I have for you? Oh, okay. We need to make sure that we tell those that are close to us how we feel about them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you, and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.